Welcome to Culture Wire. I'm your host, Meg Schiffler. The San Francisco Arts Commission's public art program made a big splash in the Civic Center with the world premiere of Three Heads, Six Arms by renowned contemporary artist Sean Wang. The artist came all the way from Shanghai to help us celebrate the unveiling. And while he was here, Director of Cultural Affairs Luis Cancel had a chance to speak with him about his work.
The San Francisco Arts Commission is pleased to be celebrating the sister city relationship between Shanghai and San Francisco. This year represents the 30th anniversary of that relationship, starting way back when Dianne Feinstein was a mayor here in San Francisco. Part of our participation in that celebration was inviting the internationally renowned artist Sean Wang to premiere a new work of art here in San Francisco called Three Heads and Six Arms. Sean Wang, welcome to San Francisco, and thank you for bringing your extraordinary sculpture to be shared with us over the next 18 months. Can you tell me a little bit about what inspired you to do this, to create this sculpture?
The inspiration of this sculpture actually started with a research trip that I did a couple years ago. I went to Tibet and I saw a lot of relics of the Buddha's statues on the market, and I started to really feel the spiritual life of people in Tibet. And I started to understand the cultural, the life, so it really inspires me. And I went back to Shanghai, I started the creation of this work.
In your earlier phase as an artist, performance work was very important, and you used your body as an integral part of your creative process. In this sculpture, we see that one of the three heads of the Buddha is your face. Could you kind of talk about the significance of that?
I started doing sculptural-based work, three-dimensional public art, almost 10 years ago. And I stopped working any performance art 5 years ago. I feel like what I want to express through the sculpture couldn't be replaced by any kinds of performance art. And it's like an extension of my art practice. And it's also an accumulation of my own experience when working as a performance artist.
Seeing some of your recent work, we see that scale is very important. In addition to this Buddha, this three heads and six arms, I have seen other works where, let's say, the limb of a sculpture is on the floor, but everything is very big. Everything is really large scale. What are you trying to accomplish with expanding the scale of these images to such a great size?
I think for me, I have a lot to express through my art, and I always feel heavy in my heart. And this explains partially why I wanted to create large-scale sculpture, because it helps me to express my feelings, also make the public aware of how heavy and how important the contemporary art actually plays the role in contemporary society. And I think that's the mission of contemporary arts, is to serve as a social critique.
When Mayor Newsom joined you in dedicating this sculpture, he had asked the Arts Commission to find an artist and a work of art that would be big and bold, and he was so pleased with your participation in this exhibition that he made you an honorary citizen of San Francisco for the next 18 months while your sculpture is here. The public reaction so far has been very, very positive. What is your perception of how people perceive your sculpture?
I think although San Francisco as a city has a really long history, but it still keeps its very young attitude and very energetic, from the public to our mayor and to everybody here. So this gigantic sculpture landed suddenly on the square, the plaza of San Francisco City Hall and Civic Center. I think on one hand, it's not that kind of go with the whole environment. But on the other hand, it exactly this kind of exchange between Asian culture and the American culture here create this very strong power. And this power that created by East meet West maybe is exactly what our mayor or what the public in San Francisco wants. And they will start to be curious and start to wondering why this is here and how we look at Asian culture and how we think about it.
Xianghuang, you are an artist who has lived internationally. You've lived in major cities like New York and Beijing, now in Shanghai. And you are clearly very well known internationally. And you made a very conscious decision to lend this sculpture to San Francisco as opposed to having it premiere an exhibition for you at another museum. Are you pleased with the results of your decision?
He thinks I'm very satisfied with what turned out. And I lived in New York for 8 years, and all my children were born in New York. Actually, in my blood, I already have the American spirit, and I feel really proud and honored to be here. I really appreciate the spirit of being commit to things and being honest and being collaborative that I see in this project. And also, when I flash back to my career, I think what an artist can do is only a tiny thing. I want to contribute more to the whole human society. But in terms of art, what can art do is only this tiny bit, but I wish I can do more.
Well, Xianghuang, your invitation to San Francisco has already proven to be a great success, and we really look forward to spending time with your 3 heads, 6 arms of Buddha for the next 18 months. Thank you for being part of Culture Wire.
Thank you, everybody who worked on this project.
Thanks for watching Culture Wire. Join us for future episodes on SFG TV and online at sfartscommission.org, where you can find more information about Arts Commission programs and past episodes of Culture Wire.